Hello, I'm Dr. 𝐒𝐭𝐴, and I am experienced in both gastroenterology and colorectal surgical practice. Today we're going to explore something truly revolutionary in medical science, Google DeepMind's AlphaFold 3. As someone who has dedicated their career to healthcare, I find the intersection of artificial intelligence and medicine not just fascinating, but transformative for our future. Let me start with a question that has puzzled scientists for decades. How do we understand the intricate machinery of life itself? At the heart of this question lies the mystery of proteins, the molecular machines that make every living thing function. Imagine trying to understand how a complex machine works without being able to see its parts clearly. That's the challenge scientists faced when studying proteins until now. The release of AlphaFold 3 isn't just another technological advancement. It's a fundamental shift in how we understand biology. Think of it as giving scientists a powerful new lens through which we can see the microscopic world with unprecedented clarity. But before we dive deeper into what makes AlphaFold 3 special, let's understand why this matters to you. Whether you're a healthcare professional, a medical researcher, or someone passionate about medical innovations, every disease we treat, every medication we develop, and every biological process we study involves proteins. When these proteins don't fold correctly, they can cause diseases ranging from Alzheimer's to cancer. Understanding these structures isn't just an academic exercise, it's crucial for developing new treatments, understanding diseases, and potentially preventing them before they start. In the next few minutes, we'll explore how AlphaFold 3 is transforming the field, turning the impossible into efficient reality. Through real examples and practical applications, we'll see how it's reshaping medical research and treatment development. Let's start by understanding what makes proteins so crucial and complex. Proteins are like the body's master builders and problem solvers. Every cell in your body contains thousands of different proteins, each with a specific job. Some act as messengers carrying signals between cells, others work as antibodies fighting infections, and some function as enzymes breaking down food into energy. The fascinating thing about proteins is that their function depends entirely on their shape, how they fold. Imagine a piece of paper. When it's flat, it's just a sheet, but fold it in specific ways, and it becomes an origami crane. Proteins work similarly, but with mind-boggling complexity. A single protein can fold in billions of different ways, but only one or a few of these formations will allow it to do its job correctly. This is where the challenge lies. Scientists have struggled for decades to understand how proteins fold and why they sometimes misfold. Traditional methods of determining protein structures were incredibly time-consuming and expensive. It could take years of laboratory work to understand the structure of just one protein. Think about that, years of work for just one of the roughly 20,000 different types of proteins in the human body. The cost was staggering too. A single protein structure determination could cost hundreds of thousands of dollars and require massive amounts of trial and error. Sometimes, despite all the effort and resources, we still couldn't get clear answers. This meant that our understanding of many diseases and potential treatments was limited by our ability to understand protein structures. Proteins rarely act alone. They interact in intricate networks, like a choreographed dance of thousands. Understanding these interactions is vital for creating effective disease treatments, and this is where the revolutionary AlphaFold 3 excels. Now, let's explore what makes AlphaFold 3 so revolutionary. At its core, this AI system uses deep learning to predict protein structures with unprecedented accuracy. But what does this really mean? Let me break it down in a way that showcases its brilliance without getting lost in technical jargon. Think of AlphaFold 3 as a master chef who has studied every cookbook ever written, learned from every possible recipe, and can now predict how ingredients will interact even in combinations they've never seen before. The AI has been trained on virtually every known protein structure in scientific databases, learning the subtle patterns and rules that govern how proteins fold. What sets version 3 apart from its predecessors is its ability to understand context. Previous versions could predict single protein structures well, but proteins in our bodies don't work in isolation. AlphaFold 3 can now predict how multiple proteins interact simultaneously, like understanding not just individual dancers, but an entire ballet performance. The speed and accuracy are mind-boggling. Tasks that once took years can now be completed in hours. The system can analyze not just simple proteins, but complex molecular machines made up of multiple protein components. It's like going from trying to assemble a 1,000-piece puzzle in the dark to having a smart assistant that can show you exactly where each piece goes. But perhaps most importantly, AlphaFold 3 has learned to identify its own certainty levels. It can tell us not just what a protein structure might look like, but how confident it is in its prediction. This is crucial for research reliability and medical applications. Let's dive into how AlphaFold 3 is transforming medical research and drug development. First, consider drug discovery. Traditionally, developing a new drug could take 10 to 15 years and cost billions of dollars. Much of this time was spent trying to understand how potential drugs might interact with target proteins in the body. With AlphaFold 3, researchers can now predict these interactions with remarkable accuracy before ever stepping foot in a lab. Imagine being able to test thousands of potential drug candidates virtually, narrowing down the most promising ones before conducting physical experiments. This isn't just saving time and money, it's potentially saving lives by getting effective treatments to patients faster. In the field of rare diseases, this technology is particularly groundbreaking. Many rare diseases are caused by protein misfolding, but studying these proteins was often too time-consuming and expensive to justify for small patient populations. AlphaFold 3 changes this equation entirely. We can now understand these disease mechanisms more quickly and at a fraction of the cost. The impact extends to personalized medicine as well. By understanding how genetic variations affect protein structures in individual patients, we can better predict which treatments will work best for specific people. This moves us closer to truly personalized medical care, where treatments are tailored to each patient's unique genetic makeup. Let me share a concrete example. Researchers recently used AlphaFold to understand a specific protein involved in cancer resistance to chemotherapy. This insight is helping develop new strategies to make cancer treatments more effective. The implications for cancer research alone are staggering. Here's something fascinating about the scale of what AlphaFold 3 has achieved. In the past 50 years, scientists had managed to experimentally determine about 190,000 protein structures. AlphaFold can now predict more structures than that in a single day. This is like comparing a bicycle to a supersonic jet in terms of speed and efficiency. Let me share some real-world examples. Recently, a team of researchers was studying a rare genetic disorder that had puzzled doctors for decades. Using AlphaFold 3, they identified how a tiny genetic change led to protein misfolding, causing the disease. What might have taken years of laboratory work was understood in weeks. Another interesting fact: the human body has roughly 20,000 different types of proteins, but when you consider all their possible interactions, we're talking about millions of potential combinations. AlphaFold 3 is helping us map this complexity with unprecedented speed and accuracy. It's like having a GPS for the molecular world. You know, in the scientific community, we sometimes call AlphaFold 3 our molecular fortune teller, though this one actually gets its predictions right. Scientists who spent decades trying to understand protein structures are amazed at how this AI can do in hours what used to take years. It's quite amusing to think that while most of us struggle to fold our laundry perfectly, AlphaFold 3 can fold virtual proteins with incredible precision. Some researchers joke that it's like having a protein whisperer in the laboratory. But unlike a crystal ball or fortune teller, this technology is based on solid science and is transforming how we understand life itself. Think of it this way: if proteins were like origami, traditional methods were like trying to fold a paper crane while wearing oven mitts and a blindfold. AlphaFold 3 has not only removed the blindfold, but given us perfect vision and surgical precision. Looking ahead, the implications of AlphaFold 3 are vast and exciting. For healthcare professionals, this technology is already changing how we think about disease treatment. Instead of the traditional trial and error approach, we can now be more precise in our treatment strategies. In the pharmaceutical industry, this could lead to a new era of drug development. Companies can now design drugs with a better understanding of their molecular targets, potentially reducing both the time and cost of bringing new medications to market. This could be particularly impactful for developing treatments for rare diseases, which often get overlooked due to development costs. For medical researchers, AlphaFold 3 opens up entirely new possibilities. We can now ask questions that were previously impossible to answer. The technology enables us to predict how genetic mutations might affect protein structure, understand disease mechanisms at a molecular level, design more effective and targeted treatments, study complex protein interactions that were previously invisible to us. This isn't just about speed, it's about expanding the boundaries of what's possible in medical research. Remember, enthusiasts, the protein revolution is here. As we wrap up our discussion today, let's consider the bigger picture. AlphaFold 3 represents more than just technological advancement. It's a fundamental shift in how we understand life itself. We're moving from an era of uncertainty and guesswork to one of precision and insight in molecular biology. For healthcare professionals watching this, I encourage you to stay informed about these developments. They will increasingly impact how we diagnose and treat diseases. For researchers, the opportunities are boundless. This technology is your new ally in pushing the boundaries of medical science. For those of you who are medical enthusiasts or students, this is an exciting time to be involved in healthcare and research. The convergence of AI and biology is opening up new frontiers that were unimaginable just a few years ago. The questions we can now ask, the problems we can now solve, and the insights we can now gain are revolutionary. Whether you're a practicing clinician, a researcher, or simply someone fascinated by medical advancement, AlphaFold 3 is reshaping our understanding of life at its most fundamental level. Thank you for joining me in exploring this groundbreaking technology. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the amazing possibilities at the intersection of AI and medicine. This is Dr. 𝐒𝐭𝐴 signing off.